sweet home. It's pretty, doesn't it? Doesn't matter whether you live on a lake, whether you live in Florida, California, Minnesota, or Arizona. If you're behind on your mortgage payments, or if you get a notice that you're past due and they're threatening with foreclosure, or maybe they've even started the foreclosure process, things in your life get stressful. At StopForeclosure3ways.com, I have addressed 3 methods that work for stopping foreclosure. In this short video, I'm going to describe them, and then if you want more information, please visit the website. I'm going to talk about loan modifications. I'm going to talk about mortgage replacement that I guarantee none of you know about, and also short sales, which 3 years ago no one knows about. Now everyone does. Loan modifications are predicted to exceed $10 million this year, and the reasons are simple. Banks finally realize that financially they're better off dealing with a homeowner modifying their existing loan than foreclosing. You see, foreclosing costs actually tens of thousands of dollars. The bank, if they foreclose, have to put money into reserve, so says the government. They then have to fix up and resell your house and pay a commission. And guess what? While they're foreclosing, you're not making mortgage payments. So a loan modification is better on all fronts because they don't foreclose, they don't have to put money in reserve, they don't have to resell your house, and you're making your payments. It's also better on their balance sheet, which is how they borrow money in the first place to loan to us. As a homeowner, there are a bunch of advantages. First off, a loan modification does not, in and of itself, affect our credit score. And the reality is that if you have someone doing this for you that knows what they're doing, that there's a real good chance you'll get a better rate, even if you don't have perfect credit, than if you did. Should it be like that? If you're 3 payments behind, you get a better fixed rate loan than someone that's never missed a mortgage payment? No, it shouldn't be, but it is. Stress level in your home decreases. Stop screaming at each other. You don't have to worry about taking the kids out of school. You have a mortgage payment that's permanent that you know you can live with. Past due amounts can be forgiven. Got a bunch of examples here. Let me go through them. And also, if you want to go to Loan Mods or Us, that's another website where I have the 22 most frequently asked questions asked and answered. Here's an example in Countrywide where someone was $18,000 behind. They had a 5.75% mortgage. They were able to take the past due amount, add it to the mortgage balance, drop the interest rate to a 3.75, and have it be a stepped fixed mortgage, dropping their payments by over $600 per month, and stopping the foreclosure because the delinquency is now added to the mortgage. Here's one with Chase where the gentleman was behind $8,000. They added that, most of that, to the loan amount, but look at the interest rate. They dropped it from 9.375 down to 2.65. You see it? No, that's right. And it's fixed. And they didn't have to make up the past due amounts. That's with Chase. Here's one with Aquin, where they had, this is kind of an interesting one. They had a $315,000 balance to start with. They knocked $60,000 off of the balance, and they forgave almost $13,000 in past due amounts. They took a first and a second, combined them, and made it a new $1,300 payment versus $2,600. Cut everything in half. Here's one with Wachovia. Again, this is a loan balance reduction example. $390 they started with, ended up at $311. That's, I don't know, $879, $80,000 reduction, and $4,000 in past due amount was forgiven. Interest rate dropped from 7.8 to 6%. Those are just, we have hundreds of examples. The bottom line is every case is different. At Loan Mods or Us, you'll learn about the 9 law firms that will represent you if, after a free evaluation, they decide to accept you as a client. Once they do, they have a 97% success rate and money-back guarantee. All this contact information will be available at the end of this video too. And we have weekly free conference calls where you can call in and ask your questions. Mortgage replacement. Nobody knows what it is. Some people call it America's best kept secret. Who do we owe a debt of gratitude to? Good old Uncle Sam. Here are a list of 6 acts, and in each act there are dozens of laws that protect us as homeowners when we borrow money. Guess what? You add them all up, there are 180 federal laws that every bank in America that loans money to us is supposed to comply with. Nobody's held them accountable, and guess what? Virtually none of them do. If you want to challenge to see whether they've done it correctly, this is the process. You, the homeowner, hire the company. The company is a quarterback of everything that happens. The company hires a law firm that deals on with federal cases. The law firm contacts your bank with your permission and says, please provide this, and they give them a list of the 180 laws they're supposed to have complied with. The bank goes, hello, send to the law firm whatever they have. The law firm looks at it, they evaluate it, they figure out how many violations there are. They go to the federal judge. Judge says, so you say the bank has how many violations? We had one where there were 177 violations out of 180. Doesn't get much worse than that. The judge says, give me a list of the violations. He contacts the Justice Department, gives them a federal order to check it out. Justice Department contacts your bank with the same question. Prove that you complied with all these rules. Justice Department gives them the time to comply and send the proof of compliance, and then they evaluate it. After they have a idea of all the violations, they go back to the judge and say, here's a list of all the violations. The judge says, wow. They then assign fines and penalties to each and every violation, and then they notify the bank, it's time to write a check to you, the homeowner. Now, the guy with 177 violations, he has had a $400,000 mortgage, and the fines and penalties came to $1.3 million. Now, here's how it works. He gets a check from the bank for $1.3 million, deposits it, writes a check out to the same bank for $400,000 to pay off his mortgage. He then writes a check for $900,000 to the law firm that found all of the violations. That's how the law firm makes money. That's how the law firm is motivated to make sure they find everything. You're the happy homeowner. You got no mortgage. You do get a new mortgage. It's half the size of the old one at 2% for 40 years. There's no qualifying or closing costs. It's even assumable. Here's an example. If your starting mortgage is $250 at 8%, that's $1,800. New mortgage would be half the original, or $125, 2%, payments of $378 a month. That's a $1,400 a month savings. Here's another example. Your mortgage is a little higher, $400,000, 6.5%, $2,500. Split it in half. Now it's $200 at 2%, $600 a month payment, $1,900 a month savings. If you've decided you just want to throw in the towel, give the house back, a short sale may be your answer. Process usually stops the foreclosure. Here's the reason. The company, which, by the way, works for you for free, makes an offer immediately to the bank. The bank gets the offer, calls the law firm, usually, says, stop the foreclosure, we've got an offer. Realtors do what they do best, which is show houses and make offers. You, on the other hand, get a satisfied debt on your credit report rather than a foreclosure after a short sale is completed. And you, the homeowner, stay in the home for months and months and months and sometimes longer. And again, the cost of this is zero. Now you say, how can they do it for zero? Because the company that does this gets paid by the bank, or they get paid by the buyer who has found this great deal for them. Don't wait. There's no advantage to it. Time works against you. If you go to my website, Stop Foreclosure 3 Ways, you'll see this graph or chart that shows the three methods I've just described laid out with all the salient points so you can compare them. This is all the contact information which will appear at the end of this video. Gang, there are 180 laws that are on the books to protect us. The banks have just flat ignored them. Hold them accountable. They're business people. They're supposed to follow the laws. They haven't been. That's it. Thank you for your time. Hope this helps. May God richly bless you and yours today.